Hey, everyone. Welcome down to this Monday evening. It's Monday evening, right?
Yeah.
This Monday evening's live hangout here. This is actually a public hangout, so you might have been invited here by one of our members. And we've got an exciting topic here tonight. We're going to talk about the truth about how to create a residual income in a home business. You know, we're gonna talk about that tonight. And quite honestly, what we're going to share here, some of you might not be ready for it. You know, so. If that's you, no worries. You might be ready for it a week from now. Might have to settle in a little bit. But what we're going to talk about here tonight is probably going to shock some of you, and some of you are going to get really excited about it. You know, like I know when I first heard about these concepts and these ideas, it just made sense to me. You know, and was able to really dramatically increase my monthly income on a regular basis. So that's the stuff we're going to talk about here tonight. If you're excited about increasing your monthly income. Well, then pay attention because we've got some really exciting things for you. In case you don't know who we are, I'm George Schultz, my girlfriend Angela Moore. We created a company called the Freedom Fighters Network. And before we get into tonight's thing, because we know there's a lot of guests here tonight, we've got this hangout on multiple different pages here. So I don't know what page you're on exactly, but if you're a guest here with someone tonight, we want to welcome you in and just let you know a little bit, like a quick rundown of what the Freedom Fighters Network is and what it can help you do in your life. So before I jump into that, you got anything you want to say?
No, we should just go ahead and jump right into it.
Perfect. Let me just grab a drink of water really quick. So the Freedom Fighters Network, in a nutshell, is a solution to a lot of problems that both me and Angela were facing, as well as a lot of our team members have been facing throughout all the different companies we've ever been involved in. What is the biggest struggle that people face? It's making sales, right? It's getting that initial customer. It's making their first few sales online, or it's literally continuing to get new customers into a company, bringing new reps into a company, bringing new customers. It doesn't matter which one. People struggle with both of those things. So much so that people literally quit the industry as fast as they're joining it. And it's sad to see, really. It's sad to see these big visions. Frozen maybe.
Oh shit.
Give us a second, folks. Do you want to maybe? Is there any things we can?
Yeah, I'll probably close down Skype.
Perfect.
Sorry, guys. A second.
Okay.
For
We ready?
Yeah, that should help some. I'll click mail as well.
Go ahead and test this bad boy out and just make sure it's working too.
Awesome. Okay.
Perfect.
Sorry, guys.
Cool. I think we're good to go. Make some noise down below if we're good to go, folks. Let us know. We'll be paying attention over here. Other than that, we're gonna keep rocking with it here. So the truth is, a lot of people get into this industry to make more money. You know, to make a side income, to make more money. Some people get in because they've got invited by a friend to test out a product or a service, and they're like, hey, this product is actually cool. Maybe I can make some money offering it to some of my friends as well. So that's some of the ways people get in. But most of the time, people get in because they want to make more money, and they think it's going to be extremely easy to sell stuff to people. And the truth of the matter is this: selling is actually fairly difficult. It took me 6 months before I made my first sale. How long did it take you?
Oh, geez, more than 6 months. I was in this industry for like 4.5 years. I went for literally $45,000 into debt before figuring things out. Now, it didn't take me 4.5 years before I made my first sale, but it definitely took me 4.5 years before I understood really what like profit and loss was, and how to hedge myself so that I was always in profit versus being in the red every month. You guys ever had a problem where you spend more in your business than what you're actually taking in? That was the problem that I faced. Coming from insurance, I had more of an interesting, more of a different kind of problem than a lot of people face. A lot of people face the problem that they can't figure out how to sell stuff. For me, I understood how to sell stuff. I just couldn't figure out how to get into profit. Yeah, I couldn't figure out, you know, if I was spending $1, I was only getting like 25 cents back, and I'm like, man, this is not right. But I figured over time, you know, I'd be able to generate some type of residual income, and I would be able to then, you know, have that over a long period of time, which is one of the things we're going to talk about here tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. So really quickly, folks, we just got to touch on this really quickly. I said I would. What is the Freedom Fighters Network? It's a way to simplify the insane, difficult learning curve in the online marketing world. What is it really? It's really a simple process wherein people can get started with a simple system. They can follow some steps without having to learn insane marketing strategies, without having to learn all this crazy technical setup, without having to learn a bunch of stuff. They can actually get their first marketing pieces out there without understanding why or how it all works. And the marketing goes out and people are actually making sales before they understand anything. Then they can move on to starting to learn through our marketing training library. We're actually adding some really cool stuff there tonight. Brian Michael gave us some awesome eBay training, folks.
Free marketing strategy.
Free marketing strategy that he's used to bring in, I don't even know how many people, into multiple different opportunities over the past few years. And so we're going to be adding that in there later on tonight. Be on the lookout for that.
Also, Eric Flanagan's training, we're adding that in here tonight as well. We thought we added that a couple days ago, but that's being added.
We added that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. I thought we added it. We were on ski vacation, but we did not. So you just noticed that it's not there. So we're going to add that here tonight as well.
Gotcha. So we've got some awesome free trainings going up in the Mac office here tonight. But really the entire Freedom Fighters Network is a way to help people make initial sales before understanding how everything works. Because what we know is this. When I first got started, I struggled. And I struggled because I didn't know how I could get out there and market when I had no results to speak of. I would look at my mentor, my sponsor. I would look at the people that were making money, and I'd say, well, sure, it's easy for them. They're out there telling people, hey, look how I just made $1,000. Hey, look how I just made this money. And so it's very easy for them to turn around and say, look at all the money I just made. Yeah. I can teach you how to do the same thing. I was like, well, that's why I joined them, right? I didn't have that to speak of. And so it was difficult for me in the beginning to wrap my brain around how do I actually get out there and get around it. Well, it took me a little while. It took me like over 6 months to make my very first sale because I had to go off of a different type of result. Well, what we've done is we've solved that problem by helping you get your very first results before understanding how or why it works. And then you're able to turn around and market those results. And when you can market results with something, people want to take you up on it. I mean, think about this. If you see someone who's literally marketing like a weight loss shake, or like, you know, like if Jenny Craig was completely overweight and then continued to be overweight, would you want to buy her stuff? You know, if you constantly saw, if Chuck Norris is, what's his he's got that body fit machine or whatever, if Chuck Norris was out of shape selling it, you always see people who are in shape selling something that helps you get in shape, right? You always see people who are physically fit selling something that's going to help you lose weight. Why? Because they're in great shape, and you look at it and you say, hey, that person knows what they're doing. Clearly, they're in great shape, so I trust them. Well, then it's like looking at someone, you know, you see all these success coaches. They're success coaches, and really their life is shitty, and really they have no success to speak of, yet they're a success coach teaching you how to not be successful. We wanted to put a little spin on the industry and say, let's help people get results right out of the gate. Let's help them get results. If they're willing to plug in, follow 5 simple steps, 6 simple steps, we're actually adding a 7th step here shortly. Follow a few simple steps, right? A few simple steps, get some results right out of the gate, and then be able to turn around and market that success. People are going to look at you and say, oh my God, you have results. And you didn't know what you're doing. I want in on this. I want to do this too. I trust you because you now have results to speak of. You can showcase your results. That's what we've put together here in a nutshell, folks, is a really simple process. And once you get out there and get that initial marketing done, then should you want to, you can jump in and plug in and get all the other marketing training and learn advanced marketing strategies and advanced team building strategies should you want to, and all that stuff, you know. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight, right? If you want to learn more about that, you can get in touch with the person who invited you here. If you want to check out the video, if you know you want to get started, there's a good chance you still got the free trial. If you're new to here, we offer a 7-day free trial. And by clicking that button down below this video, you can go ahead and take us up on that offer anytime you choose, right? You can go ahead and get started for free and test drive the system out for a full 7 days, get fully deeply inside everything and go through everything. And potentially, I mean, we have a lot of people who are literally earning commissions before their 7-day trial even ends. It's absolutely amazing to watch. So
absolutely.
That's what the Freedom Fighters Network is about. And with that, let's get into the truth about residual income and how to actually start making money on a consistent monthly basis in your business. Did you want to start off, babe? Should I?
Sure, absolutely.
Go for it.
You know, I just really want to kind of start off with the story that I started to tell, but then I realized that we got a little bit ahead of ourselves because we wanted to talk about the Freedom Fighters Network and what it really was before we actually jumped into that. But it really goes back to, you know, my initial story, how I got involved in this industry. I got involved because I was working as an insurance broker and I wanted a way where I could have more time freedom and be able to make an income, a leveraged income on the internet, independent of what I was having to do over there. And so I got started thinking it was going to be easy. Like I think everybody does, you know, because every sales video out there, you know, does it not promise you the moon? You get through a sales video and then all of a sudden, wait, hold on, there's like 15 hours of setup, there's, you know, all these like different learning manuals, you got to learn how to market, you got to learn how to do headlines, you got to learn how to do all this stuff. So I went through everything. I finally figured things out and was able to get my marketing pieces out there, was able to get compelling sales stuff out there because I was an insurance broker. But my problem lied in the fact that whenever I was spending money on marketing, I wasn't getting the money back out of it. I was literally spending like $3,000 a month. I was only getting like $2,000 back. And I did this for the longest time, like literally the longest time. And so what was happening is I was consistently in the red, and I continued to run my business in that way because I kept thinking about the residual income factor. I kept thinking, you know, if I can just get, you know, if I can just get somebody like me that's out there investing a bunch of money in marketing and figuring things out and doing sales, and, you know, and then I would look at like my upline who is successful, and I'm like, if I can just get somebody in my team like them, they're going to go out there and they're going to build a big team, and it's not going to matter that I'm losing money right now because this residual income is going to happen for me after however long period of time. I'm gonna develop a team leader. I'm gonna get somebody in here. I'm gonna get a few key leaders in here, and what's going to happen is my income is just going to just spiral out, like you always hear about, right? That's what the whole dream of this industry is about. It's at least what I was pitched on, right? Has anybody ever been pitched on the dream of residual income? Well, that's why I continued to put money into marketing for the longest period of time, until one point when I decided to do things a little bit differently. I decided to do things actually quite a bit differently. I stopped kind of focusing on that residual income after about 4.5 years of literally straight up failure. And then I literally, what I did was I got into a program where I could earn basically a bunch of residual income, but upfront. Right? Because wouldn't it be cooler, right, if you guys could earn a much, much larger sum of money up front and then you could reinvest that back into your marketing and also have a profit rather than having to wait months or years before the residual income comes about. That's the thing that clicked for me 4.5 years in, and I went from literally losing $1,000 a month that particular month, actually for several months at that particular time. And within the very next 6 weeks, I built almost a $10,000 a month income, right? I did that because of the fact that rather than focusing on that residual income factor, rather than focusing on that long-term residual income, all of a sudden I started focusing on how do I make more money up front so that I can fund my marketing, so that rather than losing $1,000 a month and hoping a leader is going to come along, I can then, you know, earn enough to cover my marketing up front and then reinvest back into it, right?
And all that residual income that was coming in from the different sources you had was like icing on the cake, right?
Exactly, right. Yeah, because residual income, you know, you will obviously have people in your team that stick. Like everybody doesn't quit, at least I hope they don't, right?
This industry wouldn't be around if everyone did.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, I mean, the bottom line is this, though. Most of my income over the course of the past few years has been coming from upfront commissions. We're going to talk about how you guys can earn larger sums of money up front here tonight. Like literally in my last company, I was earning a $10,000 a month income like all of last year. And literally like 90 to 95% of that was not from the residual factor.
Right. Not
from the residual factor, even though I had sponsored hundreds of people into that company. Like I think it was 274 people into that company, right?
That's absolutely crazy. Now, the same company here, folks, I made about 10 to 15% of my money came from residual income, right? 10 to 15% of my money. Yeah. And the amount of...
He was a huge team leader with like you built a huge following, you did weekly hangouts, you got your people to stick. So you had probably a much higher percentage of people sticking and paying their residuals every month than a lot of people did in that company. I mean, definitely more than me in that company.
Right. If I were to rely solely, if I were to rely solely on residual income alone at any point in time in this industry, I would have been out of the industry like 10 years ago, and I started 6 years ago, because the really simple fact is this: we're gonna talk about some things that you may or may not be aware of right now, that when we learn these things, they really helped us. Now, we're not saying that steer clear of anything that's residual, because ultimately, if you can make some money residually, it's phenomenal, right? We actually have a way right now where you earn residual income off your people, and the people that continue to buy the product month after month. We have a way to earn residually. But some of the numbers that we're about to share with you really changed some things for me, because I too, when I first got started, I too was like, oh my God, I can create a residual income. I can earn $15 a month for every person I bring in. And then when their team members come in, I was actually earning, like $4 or $5 a month off of their team members that they brought in. And I built a team in the thousands in this one company. And, throughout about 3 years in that company, I think I totally earned just about $60,000 in 3 years, $20,000 a year. That's like poverty level.
From a team in the thousands, guys. Like, I mean, the whole thing, the whole pitch that I was pitched in the beginning, and I think this is what a lot of people are pitched, is like, go out there and get 2 people, right? And then those 2 are gonna get 2, and then those 2 are gonna get 2, and then those 2 are gonna get 2, and pretty soon you're gonna have a team in the thousands, you're gonna be making all this money. And the bottom line is that 2 don't get 2. Right. When I went out and I got, 15, 20 people, I discovered that none of my people went out and got 2. And that's a problem. That's a big problem if you're building your income like that. A lot of people that are watching this hangout, though, you already figured out that 2 don't get 2. And so you're like, let me come on the internet. I'm going to do an affiliate deal. I'm going to figure out how to make a long-term residual income through that. So we're going to talk about how to do that, how Jordan and I have kind of skirted around that, but still created what we consider to be a residual income, and what I think you guys would all consider to be a residual income as well, but not through the traditional methods that a lot of us have heard about. This is the sort of stuff that we've sort of had to just kind of figure out as we've moved along. So what we're trying to do here is actually just shorten your learning curve some, so that if you're here and you're trying to get to that point where you're earning a walkaway income where you can literally walk away from your job and be able to depend on money coming in every single month, we're going to show you how to get there faster, right? Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Because to all means, it just means it's coming in month after month after month, right? Right. And so, like, here's one of the biggest things. I got to throw this number out here, folks, and we're going to talk about this number a lot tonight, right? The average retention rate of a representative coming into a company is 43 days. What does that mean? It means that the average person coming in and starting a business in your team will stick around for 43 days. And that's literally industry-wide, right?
It doesn't matter how amazing the product is, how amazing the training is. If the product is training, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's products out there, like, I'm not going to mention any of them because, you're not supposed to say this about products, and the company actually got in trouble. There's products out there that have actually helped to cure cancer. Like, they've actually have testimonials of somebody taking the product and that's cured cancer. And even those companies, that company that I'm thinking of, has like a 16% retention rate, meaning like 16% of the people. And it's one of the most successful companies that's ever existed in our industry, but still has a very, very low retention rate, right?
Right. So, one thing to think about here, folks, if you were to actually pull out a calculator and you realize that your average person sticks in your team, and this is representative or customer, right? This is representative or customer. And why is that? Well, oftentimes people are finding better deals all over the place. There's literally ads all over Facebook, all over YouTube, all over Google, all over every single website that they're on, all over TV, saying our product is better and it costs less, or our product is better even though it costs the same, right? Or whatever the case may be, or buy ours and you get one free, whatever the deal is. People are literally at the whim of the advertising that's all over the internet. People are at the whim of, like, people want microwave success. They want microwave everything. And if they don't get it immediately, they will move on to something else like that instantly. And it's not just in our industry, and it's not just people that are starting businesses. It's literally everything in people's lives these days. If they don't have results now, I like what Louis C.K. says. Someone's like on their phone and they're like, oh, it won't load. And he's got this joke that says, give it a second and it's going to space, right? People are so impatient because we want everything right now. And I'm not saying that I'm not that way. I do, you know, like if I order something on eBay, I'm like, why is it not here? I just ordered it 12 minutes ago. Like, why
Jimmy John sandwich.
Jimmy John sandwich takes like 22 minutes one day. And I'm like, what the heck, Jimmy John's, they're supposed to be sub so fast, you freak, you know, like it's just, it's crazy, right? So the thing to know is that if your average person, customer, representative, whatever, lasts for 43 days, we're talking about literally 1.43 times that person is going to pay you for your product or service, meaning you're going to earn about 1.43 commissions per rep or per customer that you bring into any given opportunity that you're selling, period. Plain and simple, that's the average, that's what you can count on. Knowing that, if your monthly residual is say 15 bucks, right? Let's go with 10 just to make it easy. I do have the numbers here, but if you do 1.43 times 10, you're talking about $14.30 that you're going to earn off your average customer. If your customer value on a monthly basis is $15, your lifetime value, meaning the overall value of that customer on average is going to be about $21.49. Right? So the thing to know is that if it takes you more than $21 to acquire that customer, you're losing money consistently, again and again and again and again, right?
That's what was happening to me every single month after month. Like when I first got started, was I was just literally, I was paying more for customers than the customers were worth. It was like filling a leaking bucket.
No.
People were dropping out faster than I was bringing them in. As soon as I brought in a new person, it seemed like two dropped out of the bottom.
Right.
You know, has anybody ever felt like that? You're bringing in customers and they're coming in like, they're seemingly coming in consistently, but like more are dropping out of the bottom of the bucket than the amount that you're bringing in. Yep. And then on top of that, you're spending say 50 bucks to bring in a customer that's only paying you 23. Well, you're going to consistently be in the red. That's the issue. Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, back in the day, folks, I was literally paying about $3 to $4 per lead per person who opted in and said, I want more information about your opportunity when I was doing paid marketing. And literally about maybe 1 to 2 out of 100 leads would come in and join my business, right? Would come in and join my business. And so I very quickly ran out of money. I had no more money to stick into marketing. That's when I got into free marketing. And even after like almost a year of doing free marketing that I got really good at, I was actually generating 10, 15 to 30 leads a day on Facebook. I was generating all these leads on a daily basis. I was getting signups almost every single day into my company. And after almost a year, I was at the point where I was making about $1,000 to $1,500 in revenue, right? In revenue in my business. And when you take into account like the tools I was paying for and things of that nature, I was making just over $1,000 a month in my business, which is not enough to move out of your dad's basement, trust me. And so something happened to like that. Something happened to me literally like that, where all of a sudden I quit my job 3 weeks later, right? Like what happened? Right. Well, me and this guy got together. I had gone to a live event and me and this guy had met there and we started working together and we came up with this idea. We said, hey man, we've got all these people that love us. We've got all these customers that they've come in and they've bought stuff from us. And you know, they're hungry to spend more money with us, but we don't have anything to sell them, right? So what can we sell them? What could we sell them where we can make more money off of that person? We've literally already sold them the monthly memberships and the different tools and all this different stuff and some trainings and whatnot. And, you know, but not enough, right? So we were still making just over like $1,200 to $1,500 a month. So what can we do? So we said, hey, what if we put together this thing where we could sell it for like $500 or $600 a piece? What if we sold that to these people and got just even a handful of customers and we put something like that together? What if we just got buy that $500, $600 thing on a monthly basis? Like, what if that happened, right? And we're like, that sounds like a great idea. So we put this thing together and we sell this thing, and literally within a week, I made $5,000, right? Within a week, I made $5,000. Why? Because I had had so many people before that said, hey, yeah, I'm interested in making money with you. They were willing to spend a little bit of money with me. Some of those people were willing to go on and spend more money with me, right? Thus increasing my customer value from the, you know, if I was making $15 a month and you look at the average customer retention, we're talking about $21.49. I literally just increased my customer value on all those customers by $500, averaging out my customer value to a whole lot more money, right? I was able to literally pull in $5,000 in less than a week because I was selling a higher priced product to people that already liked me, people that already trusted me, people that already spent money with me. And forgive us, folks, there's a train going by right there. So you may hear that, it may distract you. I don't know how long the train's gonna be.
Extra loud today or something.
Right. So really, let's talk about why the average retention rate is 43 days. And it might have been better back in the day. Quite honestly, I think it was. And I think
it's definitely a lot better like before the internet.
Right. I think it's gotten a lot worse because of the internet. Not I think, I know. And here's why. I met a guy in one of my previous companies. He had built a team in Amway, right? He built a team in Amway back in the 80s. He spent 3 years building a team. He created a 7-figure annual income, right? And after 3 years, he stopped working, right? After 3 years, he said, hey, I'm content here. I've put in my time. I've put in my effort. I've built this residual income. I'm going to walk away, right? Well, I met this guy literally almost 30 years later. He retired in like 1986. Holy cow. Yeah, almost 30 years later. So I met him about 3 years ago, 3 years ago. That's literally 25 years later, right? 25 years later, he is still making over a $10,000 a month residual income from that, and he has not worked that company a day since he quit in 1986, right? Why is that? Because back then, if you got involved in a company, you didn't realize that there were hundreds and thousands of other companies out there. You didn't see, if you didn't join Facebook groups and all of a sudden see literally thousands of ads on a daily basis for the new best company, this brand new company, this awesome money-making idea, whatever, right? You weren't able to go into a company, and if you didn't make money in your first couple days or your first couple weeks, like you were on to the next thing because the next company literally cost you like $10 to join or $50 to join, or it was free, like a free trial or whatever, right? Like you didn't have these options back then. It's literally you started a business and people stuck with it because they didn't know that there was a ton of other businesses out there. They started to build it up, and so they were actually building teams, creating culture, and getting people to stick around for years and years and years, right? I mean, now you look at companies that come and go, they're gone inside of like a decade, right? They have momentum for like a decade at most, and then they're pretty much like fighting to keep it, right? And the reason is because the internet, right? Like the internet literally killed the residual income, the walkaway income, where you can build something for a couple years and then walk away for the rest of your life and have this income. I remember a company I was pitched years ago, Ben. I was pitched this company and I was told that like I would be able to retire with this and then literally will it onto my kids or my grandkids when I die, right? Like you can literally hand this business. It's an asset that you can give to your family so that they can use your residual income. Well, that company's gone. That company doesn't even exist anymore, right? And this $1 company at that point in time, right? It doesn't exist anymore because the product went obsolete and people went and found other companies, and actually some of the leaders in that company started some other companies, and those companies are gone now too. So the bottom line, folks, is the internet is so competitive out there. There's so many opportunities out there that you can literally expect someone to be in your team for for an average, I shouldn't say maximum, for an average of about 43 days. Now, folks, you're gonna have people that stick around with you for years and years and years, right? Absolutely. You're gonna have people that quit after a day or two, right? And that's just part of the industry.
That's how the average works, right? So somebody quit the day after they join, and then you got somebody that sticks for like a year, and then you got somebody that quits after 5 days, and you got somebody that sticks for 3 years. That's right. How it averages out to 43 days.
Exactly. So taking all of that into effect, how do you realistically create a large income and something that can help you walk away? Something
or a residual income that you can depend on. You can feel comfortable quitting your job and knowing that the money is going to come in, right? Basically what everybody here wants, right? That's what you guys would want to have. That's what I wanted to have anyway. Before I quit my job in insurance, is I wanted something that I knew was coming in. What we're going to show you guys here tonight is depend on the money coming in and not have to depend on it coming in from, a leader on your team, because this is the other thing, say you do build a large team, right? In any given company, right? You build a large team and you got like 5 top leaders on your team. And these people are like absolutely just cranking people in. These people are bringing in like 2, 3, 4, 5 people a day, and you're watching your team grow, right? So you think you've got this walkaway residual income. Here's the problem with that. And then we're gonna actually jump into what the solution is. Here's the problem with that, right? I was in a company like that where there was a leader that was bringing in, he had like 5 solid leaders on his team, and he was just kind of sitting and not doing much. And those 5 people that were under him were bringing in tons and tons of people. What happens if those 5 people go find a new opportunity? That residual income goes poof, right? So how do you find a residual income that you can depend on, and that you know that if you go out there and you quit your job because you're depending on this income, that it's going to come in no matter what, and you're never going to be stuck at a point where you look back and you think, oh gosh, my leaders just quit my team, now what? Now what do I do? That's the predicament that we want to make sure that none of you guys ever get into, because I've watched people get into that predicament. I've watched people bring in team leaders and then literally go broke after their team leaders or several of the people in their team go and find something new. Because the bottom line is this: with the internet these days, and with people literally in the microwave stage, in the microwave state of mind where they want everything right now, the moment that your prospects, the moment that your team members are having a bad day in whatever given company that they're in, they're being reminded on Facebook, hey, check this thing out. Hey, check this thing out. Hey, check this thing out. And back in the 80s, you know, there was no Facebook, there was no internet, and people didn't know that you could go from Amway to Monavie to, you know.
Well, that company that I was looking at like 10 years ago or so, the one that I was telling you about, the one that was a multi-billion-dollar company, I honestly had no clue that other companies even existed. In fact,
I didn't either. When I got into my first company, I didn't know.
My mom was in Mary Kay, and I had no clue that the two were in the same industry. Like, I was like, oh, whatever. Like, she's a makeup sales lady, and this is something entirely different. Like, I had no clue that the two of them were in the same industry, or that like I could go join other companies. I didn't know other companies existed because you weren't necessarily sheltered from the fact, but it wasn't blasted in your face that there's literally hundreds and thousands of other companies out there. There's a couple thousand companies that start every single year inside of our industry. There's a couple thousand companies every single year that start inside of our industry. So realistically, let's talk about a residual income. What makes a residual income, right? What is to us, what does that mean, right? And to you, what should that mean? Well, it should be money coming in month after month, right? If you were making $10,000 a month, would you care whether it was from the same 100 people, or would you care if it was from new customers that were coming in that were buying a solid product that they wanted to buy because the product's amazing? Would you care where that money came from, as long as customers were continuing to come through the door and buy products and you were getting paid commissions? That to me is a residual income, where you can literally have money coming in month after month. If you look at a company like Apple, right? Like, they don't have residual income in the fact that they have customers paying every single month for. I'm not buying a new iPhone every single month, right? I'm a repeat customer because I buy an iPhone again and again and again, but I'm not buying a new phone I'm not buying a new phone every single month. Right? But I am a repeat customer, but they have a lot of new customers coming in every single month. You don't go buy a new computer every single month, right?
Because of advertising.
Right. You don't buy a new one, but they have new customers coming in because they have ads out there. They have the word of mouth marketing, people showing off their Apples, their Macs, their iPhones, their iPads, or whatever, and other people wanting the products. Like, their marketing is out there. There's videos out there. There's commercials out there. There's literally everything out there, so that they have new customers coming in again and again and again, or new customers coming in month after month after month. There's new customers coming in buying a $3,000 computer, buying a $2,000 computer, buying a $1,500 computer, right?
Absolutely. I mean, look at it this way too. Would you rather have your income be dependent upon your efforts and your advertising and know that you created your income, or would you rather your income be dependent upon people on your team to go out there and be producing? Because what happens if those people decide to not produce? You know, they could quit the industry. They could open up a brick and mortar business. They could go do something different. And then if they don't do that, your income goes away, versus you going out there and having the know-how to be able to turn advertising into profits immediately, to be able to scale your business, to be able to then reinvest your profits back in and grow it to whatever income level you want. See, that's what we're going to teach you guys how to do here tonight. And I think that that's far more like, important's not even the word. It's just it's far better than having a residual income that's literally based on whether or not your team decides to go out there and market and produce and get people into their team and sell products and things of that nature, right?
Stick around.
And stick around, Wouldn't you rather have it to where you knew, hey, I can put $1 into this advertising source and it's gonna send people through this sales funnel, and people are gonna decide to buy products that they want to buy because they're valuable to them. And then because of those people making a decision to buy, I get money, right? I get money, and I get enough money to where I'm number one in the black, right? The business world, that means that you're in profit, right? You're in the black. And then number two, you actually have enough profits to start reinvesting back into your business and scaling it. If you start with, say, like $100 per month in advertising, and that $100 is producing $200 per month in profit, then you could take $150, you can put it back in, you got $50 profit, and you can keep scaling up to get to whatever level you want in your business. That's the bottom line that we want to teach you guys here how to do tonight.
And folks, don't feel bad if you don't know what in the black or in the red means. It's like a week ago, we were driving to the bank. I'm like, what is the difference between the two, and why are they called that? I have no clue. She talks about in the black and the red all the time. Like, what is that? I have no clue, right? It means in the red means negative, and in the black means positive, right? Like if it's on your bank statement, it means that you're in positive cash flow, and if they're in red, if they're like in red in parentheses, it means there's negative cash flow, meaning you're earning less than you're spending, right?
It's where Black Friday comes from too.
Is that really?
Yeah, it's where Black Friday comes from, because
it puts people in black.
It puts retailers in the black. From my understanding of Black Friday, that's where it comes from, because all year long, a lot of retailers are in the red. They're not actually making any profit, and then the last 2 months of where the holiday season occurs and people are out there buying their Tickle Me Elmos and things of that nature, it puts them into the profit zone, and they profit a ton.
That makes absolute sense. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'll have a lot of businesses are like, there's fast times and there's slow times, right? There's good times of the year and bad times of the year. So that makes perfect sense. But getting into here, what it is that you can do to make more money up front to increase it. Like, just a quick question. Would you rather, and this is almost like a trick question, it seems kind of silly, but would you rather wait around for 15 to 18 to 20 years and hope that a person or a customer is going to continue buying a product or a service from you month after month for 15 to 18 to 20 years? Would you rather do that and count on that money coming in over that long period of time? Or would you rather be able to make 15 to 18 to 20 years of income in one day, right? I mean, it's like a trick question. Kind of not, I mean, I already know the answer, right?
Yeah.
Like, you would much prefer it if you could take your customer and literally jam 20 years of commissions into one day. Why would that be? Well, a lot of different reasons. I mean, I could think of a ton of reasons. For one,
money's worth more today.
Yeah, the money's worth more today. I can do more with that money today than I can over the course of 20 years. That money and reinvest it back into more marketing. I can take that money. I could literally, instead of saving up for years and years and years to buy a new house, a new car, whatever, I could take that money and buy something that I want now, right? I could take that money and stick it into a different business, a different investment, something of that nature. Most importantly, you can literally put yourself into profit right away, put yourself in the black right away. Me and Angela struggled for years to get our businesses profitable because we were relying on the fact we knew, right? I mean, and a lot of you may realize this already. If you're relying solely on residual income, right? If you're relying just strictly on residual income, you realize that your own efforts are not putting your business in the black, right? You realize that your own efforts are not putting your business profitable unless you're literally spending 10, 15 hours a day doing prospecting and doing meetings and doing all the work and putting in all the effort. You're not actually able to build the most leveraged form of business, which is paid advertising, right? If you literally have to make your money back over 6 to 8 months to even put yourself into to break even point, to a break even point, if it takes you 6 to 8 months, like say it costs you $100 to enroll a customer into your company and the average person sticks around for 43 days, right? You can never ever possibly get into the black there. You can never possibly get into profit there, right? If on the other hand, you can go and get even just a few of your customers to buy a much higher priced product, you now increase all of your average customer rates up a whole lot more. My average customer value in the last company I was in was almost $900 for one very simple reason. Folks, I said like 90 85 to 95% of that income came from larger commissions. It came from larger product sales. It came from product sales wherein I was able to earn $500,000, $3,000 commissions and anywhere in between, right? It came from that. It didn't come from earning a $25 monthly residual income off of my customers. It came from the higher priced commissions, right? And so really, what do you need in order to be able to do that, right? You need a sales process. You need a sales process in place that you can bring people through, right? You need a sales process in place that you can bring people through. And here's the biggest thing that me and Angela absolutely love and realize is, yes, your teams are going to duplicate, right? Yes, your teams are gonna, some of your people are gonna stick around and pay month after month, and they're gonna bring people in, and some of those people are gonna stick around and pay month after month. And quite honestly, to us, that's all icing on the cake, right?
Yeah.
That residual
I never
income,
ever calculate my numbers based on the residuals. I only calculate it based on the front end.
right? Because looking at business, sound business, folks, is all about looking at numbers and literally seeing what the numbers are, right? And then building a business based around those numbers, right? That's what sound business is. It's looking at numbers and building your business based around those numbers. Now, if I know that my average customer is 20 cents because they only stick for 43 days, then I literally have to do free marketing. If, on the other hand, I know my average customer value over a period of time is worth $900, well, then I can literally pretty much do whatever I want to attain a customer. I can go and spend $300, $400 to attain a customer because I know that my average customer is worth XYZ amount of money and I know I'm going to be in profit, right? That's how you can literally build a business, scale it up to whatever level you desire and say, hey, if I want to make $10,000 a month in profit or $20,000 a month in profit, and I know my profit per customer is $100, then I know how many customers I need to bring in and I know how much marketing I have to go out there and do. If I know that my average customer profit is $400, then I know that I want to make $10,000 a month, I know that I need to go in and bring on 25 customers a month, less than a customer a day, which is super easy to do, right? It's all about looking at the numbers and reversing all that stuff. And really, the thing that we're going to show you here tonight, folks, well, we're really not going to show you too much more than what we're talking about right now, is our system does that, right? The Freedom Fighters Network does that. It brings people in on the front end, and then we offer some higher priced products that are absolutely amazing that all people, well, I shouldn't say all people want. You hear that in every company. Everyone wants this. Well, that's bullshit because otherwise everyone would be buying it already, right? Realistically, I believe everyone should want our product. I don't think everyone does, right? Like I met a guy who was a multimillionaire and never once left his little area of town.
Yeah.
He didn't like it. Right? He just wanted to stay in this one little area, so he didn't get to see the whole rest of the world. He didn't know about most things that existed. But folks, the true key here and what we're going to show you is not in having building a team and having them stick around and creating a massive residual income over time and having something that pays you for years and years and years and years. When that happens, when that money comes in, it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say deny it. I would say welcome it in, obviously. When that money comes in, it's icing on the cake. And the true way to build a business is to look at what you can control and look at the numbers you can control and say, if my average personal customer value is, then I want to go out there and bring in 25 customers a month, and I will do whatever it takes to bring in those 25 customers. Then you work backwards and say, what does it take me to bring in 25 customers? How many leads do I have to go out there and generate? What do I have to do for marketing to generate XYZ amount of leads? You build all this stuff backwards, right? We actually are finishing out a video here tonight that shows you step by step how to do that, right? Yeah. We're putting that inside of our process.
It's going to be the video in step 6.
It's going to be the video in step 6. So
we cover that information now in step 6, but it's not like in front of you in black and white with numbers and things of that nature. And we feel that it's important for you guys to see. I mean, me personally, I'm not a numbers person. Jordan can literally do like any amount of like ridiculous like 8-figure numbers in his head. I can't do that. And so when we were looking over the sales video inside of our thing, we were like, this is awesome, but we really need to actually show people how to build out their business plan, because I think that that's the disconnect. When I got into this industry, I didn't make it into profit for 4.5 years because I didn't understand the numbers. And really, if you're going to make it into profit, you need to understand the math. And even if you hate math and you suck at math, we've made it really, really simple. We're putting that video back there literally later on tonight. because we leave for Cancun in the morning. So we want that video to be back there. So we'll send out an email when that's back there so you guys can understand how to actually do your numbers so that you understand how to make it into profit in your online business. Whether you build your business with us or you don't build it with us, you need to understand what your average customer value is, how much you're paying for a customer, and how much you're earning per customer. That's the bottom line.
Exactly. You guys might have seen what is that called? The Robert Kiyosaki. He's got the cash flow quadrant, the 4 quadrants. You go from employee to self-employed to business owner to investor, right? And the difference is you trade your time for money, right? You trade your time for even more money. Still better though, you're self-employed. Then you trade other people's time for money, right? That's where you're a business owner, you're trading other people's time, right? Investor is trading money for more money, right? And so when you have a solid business model in place, when you have a solid systematic process in place wherein you say, hey, if I invest $100, I know that I can pull 200 back out. Well, how many times are you gonna wanna do that, right? Well, however much money you wanna make, that's how many times you're gonna wanna do that, right? And so realistically here, what do you need to be able to create a residual income? You need a system in place where you can literally get money, invest it to get traffic, send traffic to a website, and the people will go through a process and buy products and services, and you get paid money, right?
Without you having to sell, right? Unless you want to sell, which is fine, but most people don't want to sell. And so if you want to actually have a process independent of you having to hop on the phone or, go out there and get people together in meetings and things of that nature, that's the process that you want to have in place. That's the process that we put together with the Freedom Fighters Network. It leads people through a very systematic process where they understand exactly how easy it is to make money. And how do they understand it? Well, we offer them a free trial, right? You guys can take the free trial if you haven't already. You can click the button down below at any time. Take the free trial as long as you get started within that 60 minutes. 60 minutes, right? Yep. Yeah, 60 minutes. And we have that timer there for a reason. It's because we like working with action takers. So if you wait past the 60 minutes, then you have to pay the full $47. But with that being said, when people get started for free, they get to go through the process themselves. They get to experience it firsthand. They get to see very clearly that they can make money without literally having spent a single penny. And by the time they get to step 6, they understand why it's important to earn bigger commissions, because it's going to take you, hundreds and hundreds of customers. Like, forget the retention rate. Like forget about the fact that there's an average retention rate of 43 days in this industry. But do you think it would be easier to make $10,000 a month from $25 commissions, or do you think it would be easier to make $10,000 a month if you're making $5,000 commissions? And the amount of work that you did was exactly the same in either case, which is exactly true with the Freedom Fighters Network. All you do is send traffic. Then which level of commissions would you rather make per customer, right? $5,000 a customer would equate to 2 customers per month. That's all you need per month in order to earn what your walkaway income would be if your walkaway income is $10,000, right? With $25 commissions, it's 400 customers. 400 customers or 2 customers. Which one is easier if you're not a part of the selling process? Clearly it's 2 customers, right? Clearly that's the easier one of the 2. To go out there and get 400 customers, remember you got acquisition costs to actually go out there and get a customer if you're not doing free marketing. And if you are doing free marketing, my gosh, I don't know if I've known anyone who's ever gotten 400 customers in a month for free. So that would be one heck of a milestone to watch somebody hit, It's much easier to get a couple customers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 customers per month than it is to get hundreds and hundreds of customers per month. When you consider, number 1, free marketing takes time, and for 2, you've got acquisition costs. If you're going to actually be going out there and doing paid marketing to get 400 customers, that's going to cost you a pretty penny. Right.
God, last year, my best month, I brought in 13 customers, right?
Yeah.
But because my customers averaged $900 a month, I was making more money. And I looked at people in other companies and they're like, hey, I brought in 500, or not 500, I brought in 100 people this month, right? Well, yeah, but your average customer value is $15 a month. So you're making $1,500 a month. I just made $10,000, right? I brought in 14 customers, you brought in 100 customers. Which one do you think is easier, right? It's a lot easier to bring in 14 people. It's what allowed me to be free. It's what allowed me to travel the world. It's what allowed me to be on vacation for 28 weeks out of the year last year. It's what allowed me to literally come home with a suitcase, throw it on the floor, take a nap for a day, pack a different suitcase, and go on vacation again. That's what allowed me to do that, was because I knew that it was easy for me to acquire 10 to 15 customers a month to make the kind of money that I wanted to make. I knew it was super easy for me to do, and it didn't require me to work a lot of hours in order to do that, right? Why? Because my customers were worth a whole lot more money. Folks, if you know how to increase your average customer value, right, and when you have amazing products with a perfect system in place, right, if you have amazing products with an amazing system in place to be able to do that, it's absolutely awesome, right? My last year, like my years keep getting better, but like literally last year up until that point, I had worked like someone's like, hey, have you ever read the 4-Hour Workweek? I'm like, no, but I'm pretty sure I'm living it. So I don't know if I need to go and read that book. No offense, Tim Ferriss, I think you're a genius. But I was literally working less than 4 hours a week, right? I was literally working less than 4 hours a week. I had stuff in place that already followed that formula because I started talking to a friend about it. They're like, well, what is it all about? And they started sharing some of the things with me. I said, yeah, I'm doing all that stuff already, right? What does it take? It takes automation. It takes being able to make sales independent of your time. It takes being able to make more money off your customers and increasing that customer value. Because folks, here's one of the biggest things that I know. While acquiring new customers in certain things is a lot easier than other things, acquiring a customer is a lot harder than selling something to that same customer. Think about this. To get me, to get someone to go from like being an Apple lover to being an Android lover, right?
It's not going to happen in my, opinion.
It's not going to happen in her opinion, but it does happen, right? But it takes years. I watched one of my buddies, he now likes Androids, but it took him about 5 years of buying Apple, and someone finally convinced him into taking a look at Androids. He loves it, right? And now he consistently buys their products and services again, but it took them years to get him to switch over, right? So it takes a lot of effort and energy to acquire a new customer, more so than it does to take that same customer and say, hey, you've already bought from me, you already like me, we're already good friends, we already do business together. Would you like to buy something else? Would you like to buy something? Would you like to buy this over here, right? Yes, most people will. Yeah. I mean, I've literally, that's where I've made most of my money. It's not from the brand new customer, right? I've literally brought in like, I don't know how many brand new customers into different biz ops and whatnot. I mean, if you look at before we get into the Freedom Fighters Network, we're talking about less than 1,000 people. And I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars in our industry before the Freedom Fighters Network, right? And the reason is because like 90% of that money came from selling new products and services to people who'd already bought from me. 90% of that money came from selling higher priced products and services to the people who'd already bought from me, right? So that's what we put together here, folks. Go ahead and check it out. We're actually, we're going to be rounding out here. We're going to do some closing thoughts here. We're going to be rounding out. You got invited tonight. Here tonight by someone who's a part of the Freedom Fighters Network. Go ahead and click the button down below this video. Get started with them. Take your free trial. Go ahead and check it out, right? Go ahead and check out what we're doing. Look at the products and services. Check everything out. We actually got to finish packing up here. We're on our way to Mexico in the morning. We're going to be gone for a week. We've got a bluegrass festival down in Mexico, and we're just super pumped here, folks. And while we're gone, we've got automation running our business and things of that nature. So it's
we literally just got back from vacation like the day before yesterday. Or wait, was it yesterday or the day before? It was the day before yesterday we got back.
2 or 3 days ago, yep.
Yeah, and we literally did laundry today. Our suitcase is still sitting over there on the floor, and we're about to pack it back up here as soon as laundry gets done here tonight. And head out to Mexico. And then from there, we're going to Wisconsin. This is the stuff that happens when you have automation in your business. Like if we were, out there having to do all of the selling and we were having to be on the phone all the time and we were having to bring people into hotel meetings and invite people to Starbucks and all that kind of stuff, I mean, my gosh, we would have to make sure we scheduled our life around that, right? But since we have automation going on, since we literally pay money, we set some marketing out there, we send it to a funnel and it produces profits for us, well, it's really easy for us to then go on vacations and have all of that running in the background. That's what we have here at the Freedom Fighters Network. And when you click the button down below, you'll be able to check it out for yourself. You'll be able to go through those 6 steps that we have, learn what it's all about, and learn what it's all about. Start making money with it before you even pay a single penny. You can't really get any better than that. There's not really too much else that we can really say about it. It's kind of a no-brainer. If you're looking to make money on the internet, you're struggling to make money now, well, we've got the solution, and we're willing to prove it to you by offering it to you for free. So go ahead and click the button down below, check it out, and yeah, I don't really have much else to say to you.
I've got nothing left to say, folks. You guys, I hope some of the stuff that we talked about here clicked for you tonight. With the whole customer retention and earning higher price commissions, because that has been the key for not only me, but also Angela, and literally, I don't even know how many people that I know. Like, we've got a really good friend, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he had built a team in the tens of thousands of people in one of his companies that was, going for residual income, right? Tens of thousands of people, his monthly residual income was about $4,000, right? It was about $4,000. Why? Because he was earning less than $1 per customer that was in his team, right? Less than $1 per customer that was in his team in that residual income field. It took him forever to build that up. He switched from that to higher price point commissions and went from earning about $4,000 to $5,000 a month to literally going upwards of 60, 70, 80, 90, 100,000 plus a month on a consistent, regular basis because he increased his average customer value. It required him to get a lot less customers, and he was able to make a whole lot more money, right? That to me is exciting. That to me is what it's all about. And when you have the systematic process in place, when you have the automation in place, that can help you create that residual income. You can literally put your money, you can put your automated marketing in place, and you can literally pull more money out and create that residual income so that you can walk away and go enjoy the beaches of the world, so that you can walk away and go and spend time with your family and friends and enjoy your days and do what you want to do, so that you're not literally spending hours and hours and hours sitting in front of your computer or time on the phone or whatever other stuff that you're taught in all the different businesses that you're involved in. You can literally set up a business that runs itself while you're off enjoying your life. That's what we have here with the Freedom Fighters Network. So click the button down below, check it out, take us up on our free offer, and we'll see you on the inside.